Gon' hit me up with some of that thug. Yeah, that's like that. Hit him in the chest with it. One time again in the head. But buddy roll, y'all. Check it out.
I don't know what this world's gonna be, but I know one thing, that this is the life for me.
Baby, cause I'm a thug.
All day, every day,
Baby, cause I'm a thug.
wouldn't change for the world.
Cause I'm a thug.
That's right, you heard.
Baby, cause I'm a thug.
I'm hot over here.
Yeah, check it out. Could it be my bag of jeans and my gold teeth that make me different from y'all? Ain't tripping, dog, but listen, dog, I was raised a little different, y'all. Doing my thing, using my ghetto slang, and I'm representing thugs. Niggas who I roll with, watch them niggas that gon' love this. Niggas who I don't bun, on the run, they got 10 years on parole.
What's going on, everyone?
Episode 55, right?
Yep. Unfortunate news in the hip-hop world. Honestly, I will say, I'm not going to say R.I.P. Nip. I never had listened to an entire album of Nipsey Hustle, who was shot and killed this past week. But the whole thing just really sucks. Because when you read the story and you look at the whole situation, at least to me, from an outsider, it appears to be a situation of pure jealousy. This guy basically looks like he wanted to, get in with Nipsey Hustle, get some sort of recording deal or get time in his studio, something like that, maybe a feature. And he got frustrated or they had some sort of disagreement and he came back with a gun and killed him. Right after they had a discussion. I read a few hours. You were telling me you read like 10 minutes. It was a quick thing.
From an unverified Instagram source, I guess his business partner, like Nipsey's business partner, said that the dude, like, again, I don't know if that was his actual business partner or just some dude from Instagram, but I guess that the three of them met, and the dude who murdered Nipsey went up to him and like shook his hand and was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to be like I'm a rapper, etc." And then
The classic YouTube comment post.
Yep. And then he
I'm an artist from so and so. Check me out.
then I guess the dude who shot him like walked away for a couple of seconds and then just turned around and just murdered him.
Damn.
And
Do you ever just like turn your neck and you get that lightning bolt that shoots up the side?
Mm-hmm.
It's the worst. I just got that.
the only thing that what kind of I feel like helps give a little validity, again, unverified Instagram sources, there was some rapper who I checked, he's got the blue star and everything, he's real.
He's verified.
He I guess posted something about the dude who murdered him trying to ask him for a feature as well too. So this dude was like trying to just like be a rapper.
He's just hitting everybody up.
We were talking about how you can kind of compare that. It sounds weird, but you can kind of compare that to like being in high school. Like if you were a kid who like thought that he wanted to be a part of a group and he tried to hang out with them, try to be a part of their activities, and that group said no, or maybe the person was just honestly just like an asshole and like that's why they didn't want him around. And one day he got fed up and he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like kill one of them. And that's a sad story that has happened in school sometimes. The kid is what is the classic story, the kid who gets picked on.
No, you're right. You don't want to make that comparison, but you can kind of
you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. It's like different world but similar situation between people. Frustration, not being accepted.
Right. That's huge. And jealousy, jealousy a huge factor in this one. So yeah, that's really sad to see that happen.
An unfortunate thing is maybe he just had to work at it more. Maybe he just didn't have it.
Maybe yeah, that's probably it.
But he should have realized if they weren't naturally if they had heard his stuff at all, maybe he was frustrated because no one would even give him a chance. I don't know the whole story.
But either way,
you can't kill someone over
yeah, you
can't
like that's now look at you. What did the article say? He's like charged for like a murder and like 2 attempted murders, something like that.
Yeah. Because he shot at several people.
Oh, yeah, because a couple people got injured, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the whole thing's really messed up because you can swap the situation for many different situations in life. Like two people going for a job, and one guy gets the promotion, the other guy gets really jealous and shoots the guy or does something he regrets later.
Yeah, it's
I mean, hopefully regrets. Unless it's
Yeah.
just completely nuts.
yeah. I guess either he talked to someone really smart to tell him to do this, or I don't know if he's got actual mental health issues. I'm not gonna question his motives. I'm not in his head. But they caught him like trying to get into like a mental health facility. So, which, I mean, if you think about it, if I were him, that's what I would be doing too, because that's one way to like, it gives some sort of bearance to I'm going to plead insanity, and
Yeah.
I was trying to check myself into a mental. But you can see what they would probably look at is to see if he had tried to do that any times prior to that. So it's like, okay, yeah, has a history of going to these mental health places.
Yeah.
But if they just see, oh yeah, this is the first time he's ever done it, it's like, okay, that doesn't put as much weight on that
But yeah, fuck that guy.
as a
You know
non-lawyer.
what? Let's not even discuss him anymore. He's done.
Yeah,
He's gone.
Yeah.
I know.
Just like the dude in Australia, they blow out his face and shit. Like this dude
Yeah, they
deserves
should.
this dude deserves no credit. That's
Because
why I
that's what
haven't
they're
said his
doing
name.
it for in the end is 15 minutes of fame or getting their message out. So you don't want to give them that honor.
Yeah, fuck him.
But going back to Nipsey Hussle, the thing about him is even if you're not a fan of hip hop or anything like that, or the clothing store he had started where he was shot, he was involved in a whole bunch of other activities in his neighborhood. Was it Inglewood? No,
It was some place in California.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but yeah, he
it was a not very nice area, but it was where he was from, and he was pumping a lot of money and programs back into the community, and
Why
he was
would-
involved in a lot of other
stuff.
businesses, trying to help people out, charities. So this guy was one of the good ones. He wasn't just some like rapper out there like talking about chains nonstop and like posting on Instagram.
because you see it a lot. Which again, I mean, I can't really blame people because, I mean, I would do it. Look, the average person would just do it. So if you grew up in a really shitty environment, when you actually, let's say, make some decent money and you are able to move out of that situation, most people just don't go back. And again, you can't really blame people, but what he was doing and what if more people would do, it would probably help if instead of just leaving and saying peace, they go back and reinvest in the community that they like grew up from, that only helps the community. Like it's
Right.
it's a tough thing to do. Like I didn't like 21 Savage, doesn't 21 Savage like
he
go
does
back
a
and
lot
does
of
life force
similar
community and
things.
shit too. So
I was watching this Tupac interview from BET. It was on YouTube.
mhm.
And the interviewer was asking him, about his connection back to, the hood, basically, compared to, are you out living in the suburbs? And he's like, I'm in the situation I'm in because I am still, in these neighborhoods. He's like, I choose to stay there. He's like, and that's what causes these troubles. He's like, but I can't leave. He's like, I have to be there. It was like his calling. So it is, a similar situation you could see there where it's like you're getting involved in the community, but there's people who are jealous.
Yeah,
Tupac got shot, not just when he got killed, he got shot multiple times, attacked, people scheming on him. There's a lot of things going on.
that would put fear in I would think probably a lot of people. I guess some people, some PTSD just getting shot the one time, like, well, he got shot a couple of times.
Yeah,
but like,
the one song he says, five shots,
yeah.
I took it and smiled. Like,
yeah, he got.
that was just, he was still rapping at that point.
Could you imagine just getting shot? Like, oh, I guess I saw some sort of stat that said most time, like there's a greater percentage than half of times that people just get shot. It doesn't hit like obviously like a major artery.
Oh,
They don't die. I mean, obviously it sucks, but like a lot of people who get shot, live.
Kiara, the podcast kitty, knocking things off.
They live again, assuming no major arteries are hit.
It's really lucky though if you think about it.
Oh, extremely.
Especially in multiple shots.
Because they could, oh yeah, because look, that could be, you just shoot someone, boom, 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 like 3-4 times without like really paying attention or aiming.
Or just once.
Yeah, dude, all it takes is one. All it takes is one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can push someone over and kill them.
You hear those idiots out there like, oh, it's just a 22 or something like that. Like, I don't care how small it is. If it hits you in the head or the right place, you're dead.
Yeah, it's like you're not shooting a BB gun.
Yeah, or an artery, you bleed out.
Hey, what do
This
you?
isn't a video game.
Yeah.
Movie, you're like, it's all right. It didn't hit. It was a small caliber. I can patch it up. It's like, what? You don't always get hit in the arm like in a movie.
Yeah, no, like
The
you
movie just clips you in the neck. What are you gonna do?
die.
Exactly.
Like,
Unless
oh,
you have
don't
some
worry.
sort of combat medic nearby.
I still got a couple bandages left in my bag. I just put it up to my HB. Don't worry.
So moving on to this this article about this doctor. I'm just gonna say former doctor because I can't see this lady getting a job anytime soon in the U.S. at least.
No.
Maybe if she goes back to Israel. But she basically posted some tweets saying that she would, in quotes, give the Yahud the wrong meds, or Yahud, I think Yahud, the wrong meds, which is the Arabic word for Jews. So she, was publicly saying that, she was going to give these people the wrong medicine and people who support Israel should have their immune cells killed. Here's how I feel about this. You can have your own political views or, even think badly about these people in your head, but you can't give people treatment that's wrong on purpose because of who they are. You shouldn't be a doctor because you're supposed to help everyone regardless of situation. That's like the Hippocratic Oath or whatever they take, or part of the doctor's oath.
Something like that. Yeah.
She even has a webpage, sorry for cutting you off, where she puts in quotes now after this whole thing happened. I'm assuming she didn't have this before. I take my profession and the Hippocratic Oath seriously, and I would never intentionally cause harm to any patient seeking medical care. But it's just like, it's too late. It's too late now. You know what I mean?
There's one thing. Okay, you have to look at what her profession is. Like, she's going to be someone in charge of making sure people don't live or die. Whether she's a fucking, like, let's say, toe surgeon or some sort of, I don't know, cancer specialist.
Yeah.
I would want someone in charge of my medical health. Like, I wouldn't even want to know what the fuck their opinions are. But B,
yeah.
I wouldn't want whatever their opinions are to affect my level of medical care. That's too serious of a profession.
And think of her coworkers.
If she was a fucking caddy,
Would
like,
you want
who
to
cares?
work with her?
No,
Exactly.
I know. Because
This is notable too. She went to the Toro College of Osteopathic Medicine, which is, in its website describes, rooted in Jewish tradition, built on Jewish values. But they condemned her last year. So the way this looks to me is, I hate using buzzwords like this, but she's sort of radicalized. It just has many looks to it. She's not over in some country like, currently shooting at people or anything, but she is, so deep ingrained in this belief that these people shouldn't even be able to live. She thinks their immune system should, be destroyed so they can feel vulnerable like the people of her. I don't know exactly what her end game is here, but
I don't understand
it's really
why.
fucked up.
So why? Okay, let's say she really has these deep-rooted, like thoughts, like in her head. Why are you putting yourself in a situation when you're surrounded by Jewish people? Then that's what I don't get. I mean, is it just because of the
She's
the
probably
program?
so messed up in her head. It's in her point of view. It's just, I want to help people, just not those people.
See, but that's where, like, you can see. Okay, look, obviously she's not a stupid person because she's going to be a doctor.
No, she's
was
smart, but she's crazy.
But yeah, like, that's why you can't just say, okay, just because someone's smart, like, that doesn't mean that they're A, logical, B, not like emotionally driven, or some sort of, like, you can't even describe it. I don't get it. But
It'd be like if someone was, anything, like worked at NASA and they were, super ingrained in like Scientology or something like that.
Right. It's like,
It's like, yeah, they're intellectually smart, but they're fucking crazy.
yeah, I feel like that's what a lot of people like.
Or brainwash, call it what you want. Maybe, they could be pulled out of it, but something or whatever, the sequence of events in their life has resulted in them thinking in an extreme way.
Humans are good at like learning new shit. So just because you're good at learning new shit does not mean that like you know how to navigate life in the correct way.
No, it doesn't mean you're a good person either.
No.
You can learn 500 skills and along the way, forget to learn how to be just a decent human being to be around.
Which, honestly, like I feel like that's what a lot of people do. Sadly enough.
Yeah, they're like, how can I get this? How can I make that much money? But they never think, how can I just be nicer to the person I see every morning when I get my coffee?
There's a lot of people who just don't, for some reason, see a value in that. I do. Because,
a lot of people don't need it, but the problem is the people who do need it aren't thinking about it.
Yeah, that's pretty good way to look at it. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not a top priority for those people, unfortunately.
Right. So, this next article we were looking at, this family discovered a hidden camera live streaming in their Airbnb. The husband apparently was a IT consultant or worker of some kind, and he happened to see the camera was connected to the home's Wi-Fi before they even discovered where it was. And they connected to it on the guy's phone, and they could see themselves, the whole family.
Oh.
The kids started freaking out because they were like, why are we on Dad's phone? So, they obviously found the camera was in the smoke detector because they just traced their hand to where the
they're like,
camera
where
was
is it
coming
at?
from. But how do you feel about this?
It's,
And just cameras everywhere. I feel like cameras are in more places than people think right now.
I totally agree. Yeah, I'm sure, let's say if I just walk through downtown Detroit, the more, let's say, newer part of the city I go into, I feel like the likelihood, and I'm just talking about Detroit. I'm not even talking about, let's say, New York City. Let's say let's take New York City then. Let's say I'm going through New York City. I would expect that no matter what, like corner I'm at, I'm probably being recorded somewhere.
Yeah, not even just the corners. I feel like nowadays in Manhattan, at least, you probably can't go anywhere.
Look, if it's so easy for just the average person to just go on Amazon and purchase a little like home camera security system, imagine how easy it is for someone who's concerned about theft or just insurance they're building, etc.
Yeah, and they're making millions, and they can buy tons of cameras, put them all over the place.
And that's not even counting like because you see them all the time because it just the obvious ones are the traffic ones that you'll see.
Yeah, traffic cameras.
You see those all the time, and those are again like the obvious ones that everyone sees. So just imagine the shit that they really don't have to tell us about.
Thankfully, in Michigan, at least currently, the traffic cameras, it's illegal to get a ticket over them. It's just for monitoring traffic flow at the moment. And just watching people, Big Brother.
Oh, yeah, because, look, if the legislation were passed, let's say tomorrow, I would not be shocked if the Michigan State Police didn't have a program already set up, to start enforcing that within like a month. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, we just conveniently have this whole system set up in place already."
Yeah, they get all the infrastructure in place, and they're like, "Oh wait, we can make $45,000 a month by adding this."
At the very least, something. Yeah. So
whatever crazy amount it works out to be.
God, that would be. But at the same time, once like driverless vehicles become more of a thing, I feel like that'll seem less and less of a. Besides for just watching out for just like, okay, let's make sure no one like hops out the car and like starts like beating someone's like other car with a bat. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever people do. Big Brother situation, like you said. That's going to become less and less. What's the word that I'm looking for? Profitable. Yeah, because
it'd be fun to be like the non-automated car on the road. if you think about it. Like, you have all these automated cars going 70, and you're just like
You-
going like
you-
85, like blazing past them. You're like, ha ha ha.
You'd probably be causing so many fucking crashes because all the cars are all talking to each other. You're just this asshole just trying to just like bypass it all.
As long as you weren't like cutting right up against them or anything, I think it'd be fine, because they would be talking to each other. They would just move out of the way, make room. They're like, oh, this car's coming in the fast lane. They all just keep moving over.
They're all just like, oh, this asshole, but then you'd be so because they at the same time
I hope they're not thinking.
they would all be sending what's it called, police reports. They'd be like, pull this guy over.
Or they start sending kill to each other.
Well, hopefully not that. What was the movie where the robot started? iRobot.
Terminator?
Well, did you ever see iRobot growing up?
Yeah.
Dude, that was one of my favorite movies.
You ever see Terminator?
Surprisingly, I have not seen. I don't think any of them.
God damn.
Yeah, no, dude.
But I know
like,
you've
just-
seen the other good Arnold movies, like Commando and Predator. So
Oh yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, but for some reason, Terminator just like it just bypassed my entire consciousness as a kid and as just a young adult. I gotta watch that.
I missed out on the whole thing. I wasn't really into it. Like, some people got really into the series. Yeah, I was more into Star Wars and a
Yeah.
few other things. But I watched the first one, and I think one of the random reboots. When you started, I was listening to this podcast about it, and it's really confusing. But basically, what happened is they made a reboot that, is at one point in the story, and this new director, instead of continuing from that point, he's just basically like, that sucked. So they're just dropping the entire plot and just completely
Start over.
they're just like, yeah, that's not canon anymore. Basically.
It's like yeah, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, basically, they're just resetting, and they're like, yep, this is how it's actually going.
Because didn't one of them not have like Arnold in it, and then
Yeah.
and then the one that is now canon like has him in it, something
yeah,
like
he's
that.
coming back again.
He's like, okay, I gotta set shit straight.
Yeah, he's like, I got to come back for one more.
Dude.
Set it straight.
Honestly, though, I dig
2019 or 2020 reboot, whatever it is.
I dig how all of these old
Like Stallone and shit are still doing it.
they're all hopped up on HGH and shit. God bless them.
I love it.
And-
They're jacked.
Dude, look, if I were them, I would be taking all the testosterone, all the HGH.
I will, for sure.
Oh, dude, and especially like because look,
Just for no reason. Not even being a movie star. Like, if I'm 65, I'll be like, not an unhealthy amount, but like replacement therapy and all that, for sure. Be
Do-
like, give me everything you got. Stem cells, testosterone.
yeah, they're probably on the really expensive shit because I'm pretty sure like regular HGH like that like fucks with your heart or something. So
Right.
so they probably wouldn't be using something if they were smart. They probably wouldn't be using something like I know they probably
Right.
wouldn't be using something like that at like because they're old. Let's not kid ourselves. They're in their fucking 70s.
Yeah, they're old guys. I mean, if you
Yeah.
really look at them, they got like, wrinkly necks and all that. But they got.
They seem to be in good health.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
seem to be relatively healthy. And I'm assuming they eat good. They're not stupid about that stuff. There's no way they're eating like cheeseburgers all the time. They
Honestly,
must be eating lots of salads, vegetables, chicken breasts.
and look, let's not kid ourselves. I'm sure that Arnold has done 1 or 2 rounds of anabolic steroids in his fucking bodybuilding career.
You think that's even a rumor?
Let's not kid ourselves. So
Yeah.
it's the people who like do like
Like, do you think The Rock hasn't?
no, come
I
on,
mean,
yeah. Look.
Come on.
But look, boy, honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that because he's not he's not like he's like in the NFL or like in the UFC trying to fucking fight someone.
No, I don't have anything against that.
Yeah.
I'm not even against fighting with it as long
I
as it's out
am.
in the
Whoa.
open. No, as long as
Yeah.
it's out in the open.
Yeah, no, because
Like in leagues where they just allow it, like in Japan, whatever.
okay, yeah.
I'm not talking people just sneaking it in.
Yeah.
That's
No,
messed
so
up.
I feel like the difference in fighting would be like, okay, if someone uses HGH to like get over an injury, which I feel like because that happens in the NFL all the time too. Let's not kid ourselves.
And
but-
painkillers.
Oh yeah, but HGH that'll actually help it versus like numbing it and then fucking it up even more. So I don't really see anything wrong with that. But if someone's using anabolic steroids and just one person isn't, just because like I don't want to, like some people just wouldn't want to do it.
Right, it's different if one guy's taking. I know it's hard for them to tell, but if a guy's taking HGH because of a knee injury and it's helping him recover, versus some guy who's just fine, he's taking HGH and he's over there like benching 315 and like doing a hard workout. It's like, well, that guy doesn't need it. He's just getting super strong.
Do you know Mirko Krokop?
Yeah,
So Mirko Krokop was
Croatian guy.
Yup. So For people who don't know, Mirko Cro Cop is a legendary mixed martial arts fighter. He fought in organizations from Pride to the UFC, fought the best of the best. He was in the UFC recently, like as of a couple years ago. And you know how the UFC has the USADA testing program, so they drug test their athletes like quite a bit. So he got drug tested by the UFC, well, no, by USADA, and Mirko sent USADA a letter saying, like right after he was tested, he was saying, "Hey, I have like, I've been using HGH to heal this injury." And I'm pretty sure like he like even before that he sent them like documents like saying like this is a thing, and they still like suspended him for like a fuck ton long time. He's like, you know what, I'm done with the UFC, and he's left.
I don't blame him. I'd be like, fuck you guys. Like, I work for you. I'm hurt. I'm trying to get better, and you banned me.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I would go straight over to Bellator, and if that's not possible, I'd just go over to like Japan.
A sad thing I heard about him though recently is like he had a fucking like stroke. So his fighting career is over. He said he's just
Really?
like, yeah.
Fuck.
He's like, if I get hit in the head, like it could be it. So he's like, I'm just not gonna risk it.
Well, I wish the dude the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't blame him.
Good
So.
time to throw in the towel. I mean, he had a lengthy career.
Oh,
There's no
yeah,
need to
yeah.
keep fighting now.
Oh yeah, no, he had honestly a very fantastic career. So no shame in putting down the fucking gloves.
Kiki, you making noise over there?
But
Kiki's staring at
Yeah.
me. You got anything else?
well, one thing that actually, yeah,
You wanted to talk about what people are missing out on? Something along those lines?
yeah. So do you know what is his face? We were talking about him the other day, Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, his like whole shtick is like getting people like riled up. He's this very religious dude. Yada yada yada. So he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and one thing that I'll say is me and this dude will disagree on gay marriage because I see no problem with it. He's got religious reasons why he doesn't want to do it, whatever. And universal basic income, I think it's a good idea, and he has these reasons why he doesn't think. But one thing that I can agree with this dude on, he said that it's not that like, which it's a part of it too, but it's not that, let's say, like people who are on welfare have a lack of a money issue, which some obviously do. Most, if not everyone on it, like does. It's since his reasoning, since people are going away from church, like there's less and less people going to church. That's the reason why you see, like, let's say, his example was more single moms, more like teen pregnancy, shit like that. But the overall thing he was getting at is without like the church, people don't have a purpose. And I'll say, I think that not because of church, but I think that, yeah, people really don't have a purpose. So
I think that one in particular is a two-factor problem because it definitely gives people a purpose and
it does.
A mission to work towards, and there's an end game. Like, if I do these good things, I can improve my moral standing, etc. But I think with the pregnancies and all that, religion has its bad parts, but a lot of the good
sense
parts.
of community.
Yeah, the community, and also just by result of telling people to wait until marriage to have sex, it does. Most people don't do that, in all honesty, but it probably does help reduce it at like the young, like 13, 14, 15, 16.
So I guess in a sense of having that structure, yes, that's really good. But and this is where I don't know, and I don't have an idea to solve it. But okay, because obviously religion, at least in the U.S., it's becoming less and less like relevant. Let's be real. And
right.
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but in terms of like sense of community, maybe like Ben Shapiro and people saying that have some sort of correctness behind that. Not saying that, yeah, people should just be forced to go to church, shit like that. That's stupid. But, and this is where I don't know where to solve it. How do you just start giving people a let's say, fake sense of community?
Yeah, it's like causation and correlation. like by people not believing as much in the past few years, and the attendance rate of church has gone down. As an effect, maybe the sense of purpose has gone down, and maybe some of these other look down upon activities have gone up. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily because of religion. It's just that thing has been removed.
Right. So
And people don't have anything to replace it with. So I think that could even be an explanation of a lot of depression rates going up, because people start thinking like, well, I'm at this, job, or, I'm flipping burgers every day and I don't really see a point to anything.
that
Compared to like, if I just do this and this is my job, I'm a good person every day, like I got good stuff waiting for me. It's definitely a different way to live life.
that's what a lot of like, let's say, like right-wing people will say in defense of why people shouldn't be on, what is it called, like welfare or like food stamps, etc. They say it's just because you like give that to them does not mean that they'll find purpose and want to get a job, which that's where I don't agree with that, because let's say my issue with that, I guess, let's say is, okay, let's say that's the issue. People like giving people welfare does not help them in the long run. Let's say that's 100% the thing. My issue is they don't put forth any better solution. All their solution is cut people off. So if there's a solution that you can introduce that does not hurt people currently on that system, I'd be all for it. But
That's basically how I feel about it, is that it's bad for people just because the way they have it set up is that it's a trap. There's no way to get out.
that's it, right?
When you try to get out,
I've seen it personally.
Yeah, you make less money than you get paid for in welfare, and you lose a lot of the benefits. So as soon as you start trying to make something of yourself, you fall back into
you have
poverty.
to take extreme risks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you have to
yeah.
like live on absolutely nothing and try to work your ass off at whatever job you get.
Which
get a promotion.
People should not be forced to do just to live like a regular human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
there's a difference between working hard and having to like make that jump from risking losing your everything. Like if you're in a house or apartment that you're able to keep, running with your family because of your welfare check, and if you decide to take this job that you might blow it at, or you have an asshole boss at, then you lose the welfare check.
but I guess, like I said, my biggest issue was not having some sort of replacement, because I feel like if there were, let's say, I don't know what sort of replacement that would be, but
I think it has to be just more dynamic system, possibly, where you don't just get cut off when you find a job. Like you still get access to the programs.
you get weaned off, right?
Yeah,
right. You get like weaned off of
right.
it. That makes the most sense.
Like 50% of it, 45% of it every month. They started weaning you down over. So they maybe make it so you have a year or two window to hopefully get a promotion or switch jobs with your experience.
So that would something like that would be really good, because that would like give people that incentive to really try to progress and stick with that job, and then also be able to find a job that would be able to support them, their family, whatever. But yeah, just to cut people off, that's what why would you not think that would rile someone up? You know what I mean?
It's the easy way out. It's just they're not thinking of a solution. Let's just cut it off. It's not working.
And people are surprised when people get upset that people want to do that. It's like, you can't be upset that someone can feel like empathy for that. So it's
like the government can't get upset at people for being addicted to opiates when they cause the opioid crisis.
Right.
Wow, opioid crisis. Say that 3 times fast.
Opioid,
you don't really have to. But it's really a tongue twister. Okay, yeah, wow, that's good stuff. That's all I really had for today.
Yeah. But just to
think
wrap
about
that up, I don't know what sort of. If anyone has any ideas, you can tweet at us, DM at us, send us smoke signals. TCOC podcast on Twitter.
Yeah, that's the best way to reach us, other than smoke signals or some sort of light beam in the sky.
But I don't know any sort of way to really give people a purpose.
No, I think that's
not artificial.
Yeah, I mean, if you're coming here for the answer, I'm sorry to tell you, we're also searching for it.
Yeah. If we find it, if I find it, if one of us finds it,
It's definitely something
let you know.
involving getting, making things, family, friends, relaxation. I don't know. You have to narrow it down for yourself.
Everyone's is different.
Everyone has their own recipe.
But how do you tell that to people? You can't.
I think people have to try more things. Find out what you do like.
Yeah, right? Which I guess that's hard, but hey, try it out.
Well, yeah, I mean, just don't settle into everything kind of sucks. Like, look into more stuff. Maybe you're gonna find something that sparks you up every day.
You can only hope.
Yeah. Okay. Peace out, everyone.
Peace out, guys.
See you next week.
I don't know what this world's gonna be, but I know one thing, that this is the life for me.
Baby, 'cause I'm a thug.
Oh, baby,
Baby, 'cause I'm a thug.
wouldn't change for the world.
'Cause I'm a thug.
That's right, you heard.
Baby, 'cause I'm a thug. Yeah, check it out. See, I'm so tight. Niggas be like, that nigga got so many hoes. And I know he got clout. Look in his mouth. That nigga got so many goals. Tell a nigga hoes. There's something up with that nigga. Bitch, I've been watching you, watching him. You must wanna fuck this nigga. My name alone. Been known to break up happy homes. No disrespect, all, but you ain't had